Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about cleansing. If you have been watching my channel for a while, at least since the late summer, early fall, I did a 4-video series on Andreas Moritz's amazing liver and gallbladder flush, and it was a very interesting process. I'll get to that a little bit later in this video, but just for reference, I made a playlist with all 4 of those videos if you're interested in going to check it out, which will be linked down below. But in general, I just wanted to put together a little video about cleansing and detoxing because spring is really the perfect time of year to undertake these efforts. It's kind of your body's natural inclination to come out of hibernation and prepare for the warmer months. I also think it's really important to preface this video by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I am 0 kinds of medical professional, so this is not medical advice. This is basically my own experience with cleanses and detoxes. The purpose and mindset in going into a cleanse and a detox shouldn't, in my opinion, be to lose weight. It should be to feel better. And for me, I think if you're very in tune with your biofeedback, which you tend to get more refined and perceptive of your own biofeedback over time if you're attuned to it, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a reciprocal process, but I kind of feel when my body wants to just have a break from caffeine, coffee, alcohol, too much dairy. I don't really eat a lot of meat to begin with, but sometimes my body just needs like a little reset, and I can tell. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and instigate a series of cleanses this spring. Okay, I kind of decided to organize this video in order of most entry level to like most advanced. And this is just my own experience with cleansing and detoxing. It's not comprehensive. There's so much out there, and there are so many cleansing enthusiasts / people that get really obsessed with it. So my approach to it is like, I do maybe 1 or 2 kind of cleanses or detoxes a year. I have been doing more just because I embarked on the liver cleanse this year. And when you're first getting started with them, you have to do them semi-regularly until you have flushes where you don't pass any stones. But probably if you're brand new to cleansing and detoxing, the thing that I would suggest doing is to start with like a half day or a 1-day juice fast. I think that that's the easiest way to just kind of introduce yourself to what it's like to cleanse. So there's these companies that have sprouted up, things like Urban Remedy and Drink Truce, and I would have to look up other ones. Those are the ones I've come across. But basically what you can do for I think somewhere in the $70 to $80 range, you can get 1-day to 3-day or even longer pre-ordered juice fasts from them if you don't want to make your own. So I guess I should say that. You can obviously like make your own fresh juices at home, or you can go to your local juice bar, but I like the concept and ease of ordering a juice fast and not having to like worry about it and do all the work involved in juicing at home. So basically what you would do is you would consume nothing but fresh pressed juices for basically as long as you want. You could do this till lunchtime, you could do this till dinner time, you could do it for a full day, and just kind of see how you feel. I will say Helena, my sister, so you guys know her from watching the video that I did with her, she recently tried to do this, and she is not like me. She is not into this whole world of cleansing, detoxing, alternative health. And she had quite an intense experience. She actually tried to do a 3-day juice fast, and she couldn't even make it through the first day. And she just basically what can happen is if you go too quickly, your body will start to detox too rapidly and you can get sick. So basically what happens is when your body starts to detox, it dumps a lot of the toxic stuff into your bloodstream and lymph, and your body's trying really hard to get it out, which is why a lot of people will say that when they start to detox or cleanse that they can feel sick or like they have the flu. I think that the best thing to do is to just go slow. So start with a half day, like just have juice until noon or 1 o'clock and see like how you feel. And then for the rest of the day, eat light, maybe just eat soup and whole grains if you want, like rice or sprouted grains or like sprouted grain toast, and avoid all the kind of things that you normally would associate with eliminating during a cleanse. Caffeine, alcohol, meat, animal products, that kind of thing. So that would be a very entry-level way of starting to prep your body to do a cleanse. The next level, I think, would be to start investigating prepackaged cleanse kits, if that makes sense. There's so many of these out on the market. A brand I particularly like is the Renew Life brand. This is the Candy Gone, and this is actually the one that I'm getting ready to do myself. But this brand, Renew Life, makes a whole bunch of different kits for cleansing and detoxing. They make like a total body cleanse. They make their own version of a liver cleanse, and these are available at Whole Foods, on Amazon, on Vitacost, and they're in the $20 to $30 range, so they're quite affordable. You can go up and read up about them online. And then kind of for me, the last step is something like this. This is an extremely intense protocol, and I didn't really know so much what I was getting into when I started it, but I will say that I think these things sound a lot scarier until you actually jump in and do them, and you'd be surprised with how resilient your body is. And I think that there's a lot of Western medical advice that really disavows a lot of this stuff, just thinks it isn't necessary. I personally don't agree with all that. I think that all of these things that you can do preventatively are taking responsibility for your own health and keeping you out of doctor's offices. It's basically an upstream versus a downstream approach to your health. So now I think maybe it would be useful to just walk you through my own spring cleansing, detoxing protocol and what has actually happened in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to do a little kidney cleanse. I had originally ordered this tea from a company called Present Moment Herbs, and it just comes as a bulk tea. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So this bulk tea is a mix of marjoram, cat's claw, comfrey root, fennel seed, chicory herb, uva ursi, hydrangea root, gravel root, marshmallow root, and goldenrod herb. Basically what this kidney cleanse is supposed to do is you're supposed to do it for about 20 to 30 days. You drink this tea every day and eat a mostly vegan diet if you can in preparation for the liver flush. I went into detail about this tea in the first video that I did in my liver flush series. So I did a kidney cleanse, I think back in August, and it was completely fine. I didn't notice anything different by drinking the tea. It was just kind of like NBD, no big deal. Okay, so I started drinking this tea last week, like last Monday. And I felt like garbage. I think that there were some other extenuating factors, including a wicked bout of PMS. And there was also a lot of astrological and planetary stuff going on last week. I'm sure you guys, unless you were living under a rock, know that there was the conjunction of the spring equinox, the supermoon, and the eclipse. So those all happened last Friday, and I think that that had something to do. I basically felt like sick and run down and tired all week. I saw my acupuncturist on Friday. So my acupuncturist thought that I had maybe jumped the gun in trying to start cleansing because it is still quite cold in the Northeast and it has just become spring. So she suggested that I maybe wait till a little bit later in April when it warms up a little bit more and my body might be more, it might be a more conducive time for me to do this. And I also started breaking out in kind of little skin rashes on my abdomen, which is extremely common for me in the springtime. And my acupuncturist has seen this for the last 5 years that I've been seeing her. So I actually felt so much better after that treatment, and I stopped drinking the tea. So I really only did it for about a week, less than a week, and I'm kind of okay with that. There was no real reason for me to do the kidney cleanse except that I kind of felt like maybe I wanted to before I went ahead and did the Candida Cleanse, which I am still going to do, but probably not for another 2 or 3 weeks. I have done one of these, I think probably 3 or 4 years ago. It's like too long-winded for me to explain what Candida is if you don't know, but basically all of us have, it's basically a fungus that lives in your body, and all of us have this. It gets out of control sometimes because of consuming things like alcohol and too much sugar and kind of having an imbalanced diet, or really like you could have a perfect diet and still have yeast overgrowth in your system. So some really common symptoms of having Candida are having frequent yeast infections, which I don't have, but when I start to feel like my digestion goes really out of whack, despite nothing in my diet changing, nothing about my probiotics changing, I kind of feel like this is what is going on. Oh, and I should also say, God, you guys are like my BFFs because you get to know so much about me. So I've had several colonics done over the last year, always after I've done a liver flush, and you will see yeast coming out during the process of a colonic. It's completely normal. In addition to everything else that comes out during a colonic, like impacted matter that's living up in your colon, there's also Candida, and it looks kind of like, yeast. It's kind of like stringy, cobwebby, white looking. It kind of looks like mucus, and there is mucus that comes out too, which is just a byproduct of eating dairy. And is this like grossing you out in the most major way? It's kind of like grossing me out to talk about it, but I don't know. I'm not super squeamish about that, nor am I particularly embarrassed about any of this stuff, because I think that they're normal bodily functions and we should be able to talk about these things. Anyway, long story short, I've kind of been having some digestive upsets despite still taking the same probiotics, and still my diet has been the same. Nothing has really changed. So I wanted to do a Candida Cleanse. I picked this up in my last VitaCost order, which I'm going to be doing a Mercedes Shops video on. I'm just waiting for a couple of other things to come in before I do that. When I did this particular cleanse 3 or 4 years ago, I also had a really strong reaction to it, and I was seeing my acupuncturist at the time, and so I have like little skin irritations on my abdomen right now. I had like full-blown like eczema patches all over my abdomen when I did this. They went away after about a month, and I felt so much better. My digestion was really on point for a good long while, but it's normal for these things to kind of ebb and flow in and out of optimal functioning. So with this, basically what you do is there's a capsule and an oil, and you kind of have to ease your body into it, because there's like some pretty powerful stuff in here that's antimicrobial and antibacterial. And so for the first 3 days, you take one of these capsules in the morning and one capsule in the evening, and then after 3 days you bump it up to 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. There's this liquid that you drop into water, and for the first 3 days you take 10 drops of it, and then after that you take 20 drops twice daily. At the end of taking this, it basically is going to reset your digestion. Now, in tandem with doing something like this, I think it's really important you need to get the stuff that's getting stirred up out of your system. So you either need to be doing enemas at home or having a professional colonic done after you've done something like this. So then after I do the Candida Cleanse, I'm going to wait and see how I feel, and if I'm feeling kind of like too depleted and like my system has had enough, I'll probably continue to hold off a little bit longer on doing another liver flush, but ideally, I would like to do another liver flush sometime in before May, because the last one I did was, I think it was in February, late January or early February, and you're really not supposed to go longer than 2 or 3 months before doing them, but they are quite difficult, so I'm not really looking forward to doing another one, but I know that it's necessary. Also, I've talked about her on my channel a lot, but I am a big Teal Swan enthusiast, and I have been going back in the archives and watching her videos. And in one of them, she has a video called How to Cure Acne, which actually, if any of you have issues with acne, I think it would be a really beneficial video to watch. I just think she has a lot of really interesting things to say about it on a physical and a sort of more metaphysical, spiritual level. And in that video, she talks about this particular liver flush protocol as being extremely effective at detoxifying your body. And I think that that's probably all I have to say for now. I feel like I'm definitely leaving information out. I feel like I wanted to be as comprehensive as I can, and in the process, I have just become extremely rambly about this topic. Anything that I didn't cover or that wasn't clear, please ask me in the comments. And if you have a particular cleansing or detoxing protocol that has really worked for you, let me know, and I hope that you decide to undertake some kind of flush or reset this spring to get you ready for the summertime. And I just think above and beyond, like I said, any kind of physical, superficial benefit you might derive, like clearer skin or dropping a few pounds or whatever, for me, the benefit is all just in how I feel, my energy, my attitude, my mood. Rambles. I'm cutting myself off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in a beauty video really soon, and take care. Bye.